You know, in the past, I thought I had to work harder in order for me to make more money. But when I realized it was an identity pattern that kept repeating itself, everything shifted and I tripled my income. And so what I'm about to share with you will completely transform your life if you take this one thing seriously. So let's first talk about what is your identity. What a lot of people don't understand is that they're trying to outwork their identity. They're trying to do more rather than looking at why am I doing a certain thing? And why do I keep doing this thing over and over again, even though I know it's not serving me? So let's say you're someone who wants to lose weight, but instead of going to work out every morning, you sleep in. Instead of judging yourself for the thing that you're doing, instead of blaming yourself and telling yourself you will never lose weight or you will never work out, ask yourself, okay, interesting. If I know that my habits and the things that I'm doing is information, what does it say about who I think I am and what I think I create in this world? And so the moment you shift from judgment, the moment you shift from blaming yourself into curiosity, you take your power back and you're able to really look at your life as really a stream of information that is able to change dependent on how you interpret this information. And so when we know that your identity is the mirror to everything that you're creating, you gotta ask yourself, if I know that right now my outside world is information and the results that I have on the outside is information about who I think I am, who am I? If I know that right now the results that I have, the money that I'm making or not making is telling me about who I think I am, what is the information? And in that sense, the moment you do this, you take your power back, you're not judging yourself, and you're able to look at it from a super empowering perspective. Because right now, the results that you have in your life, in your business, is a direct reflection of who you think you are and what you think you deserve. If you grew up in a household where, let's say, you have always seen people work extremely hard to make a couple of pennies, and when I say a couple of pennies, you know what I'm referring to, but you've seen a lot of people in your life, maybe your mother, your father, your family work extremely hard just to get by. You take on this identity yourself. Now, of course, the world that we live in today is probably very different from 30, 40, 50 years ago, but still, if you've seen people mirror that to you back then in your life, you have taken that on unconsciously. And so today you go through life believing, oh, I just have to work harder to create the results that I want to. But it's not necessarily true, because it's not about the hard work, but it's about who you're being as you're working. If I know that right now I'm not seeing the results that I want, the work that I do is I ask myself, who do I need to be for the results that I desire to have? So let's say right now I'm making $2,000 a month, but I want to make $6,000 a month. That is triple the income that I'm making right now. I know that my current habits and my current beliefs are creating the $2,000 a month, which means something within me needs to shift so that I start making more. And when something within me shifts, what's going to happen is that the action that I take is going to shift, which then is going to result in my results changing. So instead of asking yourself, what else is it that I need to do? Ask yourself, who do I need to be to create the $6,000? Or another question you can ask yourself is, let's say you already know someone who is making that amount of money or more, or the amount of money that you would like. Don't look necessarily at what they are doing. Ask yourself, who are they being throughout the process of when they are working or when they're showing up? How is their leadership? How are their habits? How do they treat themselves? What do they tell themselves? What are their beliefs? What are their thoughts? This is really the secret to tripling your income and beyond, when you realize that the moment you shift your image of yourself, your actions will change, and in turn, your results are going to change. So this is also called reverse back engineering. And I want you to just take a moment and ask yourself, what is your ultimate goal? Like, let's say your ultimate goal is to make $50,000 a month in your business. Now, okay, if we know $50,000 a month is your goal, and let's say right now you're making 10, reverse back engineer. If I made $50,000 a month now, how would I show up differently? How would I treat my team? How would I treat my clients? Would I change the systems right now in my business? Because let's say right now you're a coach and you're making $10,000 a month, but your time is limited. You have no more time to work with more clients because there's just not more time in a day. So if you want to make $50,000, that means you have to change the systems on the back end. That means maybe you have to create a group program, or you're not teaching clients one-on-one anymore, but you have a group where you get to have a lot more people, which is going to lead to more money, but will also allow you to scale it to the point where you're making $50,000 a month. Do you see that? So the moment you start to reverse back engineer and ask yourself, well, if I want this type of result, who do I need to be? And by you changing who you're being, you will start to think differently about your life and about the actions that you're taking right now. And so every time you find yourself in your day executing certain habits, ask yourself, if I already achieved my goal, would I still do this? So to me, my morning workout is what gives me a sense of luxury and achievement. I feel like it's my $1 million habit. Every single day I go to the gym, and not only for me to look great, but also it puts me into this identity piece of like someone who already makes $1 million or however much money they make in their life. I know that my health is my top priority, because if my health is not correct, if my health is not in the right place, of course I will not be able to show up as the person that I would like to show up in my business. And so the moment you start to ask yourself, the things that you're doing, is it serving me right now? Am I doing it from the identity that I want to be? Or am I doing it because it's become a habit over all these years? And if I want to step out of the results that I'm having right now, meaning that I'm doing those things which have gotten me these certain results, great, I'm grateful, but I want to move to that next level, that means my habits and what I do needs to change. And in order for me to change that, I need to look at my identity. So take a moment to really think about this, because this also will require you to become very aware of yourself and of your habits, and generally of your life and your thoughts. Don't be someone who lives life on autopilot. Don't just go through the motion of living life. Like, it's very easy to just go through the motion, even as you're building a business. I found myself many times just going through the motion, going through a checklist, oh, this, and I stopped innovating. I stopped creating. I stopped thinking outside of the box. And that's what's keeping you stuck. That's what's keeping you in the same income bracket. If you want to grow, if you want to expand, you got to start thinking outside of that box. And in order for you to do that, you got to analyze and really look at the things that you're doing and from which energy you're doing that from. Let me know if this is helpful. Once you start doing this, everything is going to change in your life. So if you like this type of content, let me know. Sending you so much love, and until the next time, bye-bye.